Hello Fosters, thanks for tuning in. This video is the first in a series of training videos that are meant to help you with your fostering journey here with SAPA. Today we're going to cover events. This includes adoption events, bigger events, any event where you're going to bring a dog out. So let's get started. First thing we're going to cover is greeting a new dog. When you greet a new dog, you want to approach at an angle with your body turned sideways, as you can kind of see in the top picture here on the left. You want to use neutral, non-threatening body language. What this consists of is avoiding eye contact and keeping your body very loose. You don't want to be stiff and, kind of robotic when you're greeting a new dog. It makes them a little intimidated. You want to turn your body slightly to the side with your head facing away from the dog, and this will make you seem less threatening. As you can see in the top picture, the gentleman is kneeling down with his body turned away and his head and chest and face turned away from the dog. You either need to be standing straight up or crouched down and still with your face turned to the side when you're greeting a dog. This makes them not feel intimidated. Whatever you do, you don't want to bend over the top of a dog because they take that as a threat. And you don't want to be putting your hands, you see this dog in the bottom left corner is shying away because that guy's coming right over the top of his head. Always try to come under the chin for the first pet. Don't go over the top of the head. Ensuring that you stay relaxed with the dog so that they can read your body language is very important. Allow the dog to make the first approach to you. As you can see in both of these pictures, they're allowing the dog to come to them as opposed to stepping forward and coming to the dog when they're not ready. You don't want to stare at the dog in the face. You want to keep a soft gaze, which means you don't want to be hard staring at a dog. And it's sometimes we as humans don't realize that we're doing it, but we're staring at dogs and they take it a completely different way than we're meaning it. You also don't want to take any dog's food or high value treats until you get to know them a little bit better. This can lead to some resource guarding, and if they resource guard, they may bite you. If you do find yourself in the position where you have a dog that's displaying aggression towards you as a human, there's a couple of things that you're going to need to remember. First and foremost, you don't want to run. If you run, the dog's going to chase you and you're not going to be able to outrun this dog. You want to remain calm and move very slowly. You want to avert your eyes and turn your body away from the dog. You're going to do what these pictures are telling you, which is to be a tree. You're going to stop. You're going to fold your branches, which is going to mean cross your arms slowly in front of you. And you're going to stand with your legs together and then watch your roots grow and count until help comes. So you're going to put your head down and look straight at the ground, which is going to make you look like you're not trying to start a fight with that dog. It's not. And hopefully the aggression will stop. You can also take a fistful of treats and slowly throw them away from you to try to get the dog to go away from you. You can feed them a leash, a coat, or an article of clothing if they're trying to pull or grab on something. And then most importantly, you want to call a staff person if this is happening. You don't want to run or throw or hit because aggression plus aggression equals more aggression. It's just going to amp that dog up a lot more and make the attack much worse. If you find yourself in the position where you have a dog that's leashed that's becoming aggressive towards you, this can happen if a dog is redirecting, which means that it's real upset about something else and it can't get its frustrations out, so it turns around and tries to bite you in the legs or in the arms, or a dog that's upset because you told it not to do something, or just that dog's being a little bit crazy. There's a couple of things you can do. You can take the leash and tie it around something like a fence post or a door or a tree or anything that's sturdy and nearby. You can also like this gentleman's doing in the picture, is put your arms straight out and have a short leash where the dog can't reach your legs or your hands and hold the dog away from you. You can usually bend over and kind of push your butt out and keep your legs away from it and call for a staff person for help. If you find yourself in the position where there are two dogs that are fighting each other, there's some do's and don'ts that you want to keep in mind. First off, don't try to separate the dogs. You do not want to grab for their collars, and you do not want to put yourself between the dogs. If you grab for their collars, it's a good way to get your hands, your arms, your face bit, because the dogs have gone into a mode where they're fighting and they don't know what they're biting anymore, and they're not going to know who you are. You want to make sure that you don't press yourself in between them with your legs. You can get bit in the legs, or the back or anything, and we don't want to cause any damage to you. If you have control of the leash, hold it and call for the staff to come and help you. You can also try to stop the fight by using air horns, loud noises, yelling, clapping. If there's water nearby, you can throw some water on them and see if that'll break them up. But mostly you just want to keep yourself safe and wait for staff to come and help. Now we're going to go over the rules for adult dogs, and those are dogs that are 6 months and older at events. All these rules have been put into place to help keep everybody safe, the fosters, the people, the general public, and the dogs. We want to make sure all these events are as safe as humanly possible. So first rule is going to be to stay stationary at a staff assigned station. There's no roaming. You can't be walking around with these adult dogs because anything can happen in those environments. The dog must be kept on a short anchored leash or in a kennel at all times. You want to make sure the dog is staying close to you on a short, probably 3-foot lead, and you want to make sure that that leash is nice and secure so that dog can't get away from you. At all times when you're coming in and out of the event venues, you want to stay at least 10 feet away from any dogs at all times. This includes our dogs, this includes the general public's dogs, any dog that's out there. If you have a leash reactive foster dog, they can only attend in case-by-case basis. We're going to try to avoid having leash reactive dogs there, but we also want to give them a fair chance of being adopted. So if you have a dog that's leash reactive, please contact the foster team at foster@sanantoniopetsalive.org so that they can give you my information and we can figure out what's going to be the best way to get that dog shown. Because we're setting up stations for everybody, we're going to have a limited number of spots available. You must reserve your spot on signupgenius.com, and those links to the events are going to be going out, and they will be on signupgenius.com. They'll go on Facebook, they'll be on our website, they'll be on the foster forum. If you haven't seen one, just ask the question, we'll get you the link, and you can go on and sign up for it. If you're not signed up, you'll be turned away with a big dog over 6 months old because we just need to keep these dogs limited to the amount of space that we have, and everybody has to be spaced out accordingly. It's very important for everyone to follow all directions from SAPA staff and volunteers. We're not here to try to make your lives more difficult, but there is a method to the madness all the time, and we want to make sure that everybody stays safe. Never let dogs meet nose to nose. In an upcoming video, I'm going to go over all the do's and don'ts of meet and greets with new dogs, how to introduce dogs on leashes and stuff like that, so be looking for that to come out. And most importantly, always, always, always keep control of the leash. When a dog's running free in an environment where they're stressed, we have no idea how they're going to react, and we don't want anything to end badly. Now we're going to go over the rules for the puppies. We consider our puppies under 6 months old to still be vulnerable because they haven't been completely vaccinated, and so these are the rules for any puppy under the age of 6 months. No puppies under the age of 6 months may have paws on the ground in public places. This is because, as I said earlier, they're not completely vaccinated, and public places have a lot of dogs coming through, and they can transmit diseases on their feet, or they could have diseases, and the puppies' immune systems are not ready for any of that, so we want to make sure that none of those dogs have paws on the ground in public places. So because of this, they must be kept in either a kennel or an enclosed pen at all times while they're in an event. They must have a barrier on the floor of the pen, whether that be a blanket or puppy pads or a tarp or whatever you see fit to keep them from touching the floor. Some things you need to bring when you have a puppy at an event is puppy pads, a water bowl, and toys or treats to keep your puppy entertained. The puppy pads are to ensure that we keep the space nice and clean and everything hygienic for the dogs. The water bowl, we don't normally have water bowls available, so you want to make sure that if it's a long event that the dog stays nice and hydrated. And then toys or treats to keep your dog entertained. Again, with those long events, the dogs can get kind of restless and crazy, and so giving them a bone or something to chew on as long as they're in an enclosed area is a great idea, and usually helps them fall asleep and have a better time at the events. As the fosters, we're needing you to help us make sure the dogs stay nice and healthy, so I need you to ensure that people are using hand sanitizer prior to handling a puppy, and hopefully after handling a puppy as well, but definitely before they handle your puppies. This is going to help prevent the spread of disease because people are kind of walking down lines of puppies and picking them up and holding them, and that can just transmit disease from one pen to the next. In that same idea, we don't want to be mixing puppies in playpens. Only keep dogs that are either litter mates or housemates in enclosed areas together. Again, this is only to help prevent any kind of spread of disease. So that's all I have for this recording. I hope you guys got some good information out of this. Now that you're finished watching this first in the series, I need you to email foster@sanantoniopetsalive.org to let them know you've completed the training. And once they get that email, they'll mark you as completed so that you can attend events from now on. Thanks.